A harbinger of conflict to come.
Conflict.
They speak.
Alright, if you're tired of waiting for the next Pokemon generation to actually look like a modern game, Capcom is about to eat Game Freak's lunch. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is launching on March 13th, and it's being positioned as the first true AAA scale monster collector for the Switch 2. The big gameplay shift this time is habitat restoration. You aren't just hoarding monsters in a barn, you're literally releasing them back into the wild to rebuild ecosystems. As you raise an area's ecosystem rank, you'll start finding dual element monsters. Think a Rathalos influenced by a frozen biome that hatches with ice skills. It's a huge step up in depth from the previous games' gene splicing. With a demo already out and progress carrying over to the full launch, Capcom is clearly confident they've got a hit.
I cross the meridian and keep going. But it won't be for long.
Pokemon has different foods they prefer.
It's finally happening. The Pokemon Company is officially entering the cozy life sim ring. Pokemon Pokopia is launching on March 5th, exclusively for the Switch 2. And the premise is honestly one of the weirdest things we've seen from Game Freak yet. You aren't playing as a trainer, but as a Ditto that's transformed into a human girl. The core loop is all about building a Pokemon paradise from the ground up. But here's the cool part. Because you're a Ditto, you don't just use tools. You learn moves from the Pokemon you befriend to shape the land. You can learn leafage from a Bulbasaur to grow instant gardens, or Water Gun from a Squirtle to irrigate your crops. It's basically Dragon Quest Builders, but with a heavy emphasis on creature-assisted terraforming. It's also surprisingly social, supporting 4-player online co-op, where your friends can visit and help you build. Now, there is a bit of drama here. The physical release is a game key card, meaning there's no data on the cartridge, just a download key. One of the most beautiful games of 2023 is now getting a massive follow-up. Planet of Lana 2 Children of the Leaf is launching on March 5th. It's being described as Studio Ghibli meets Star Wars. And looking at the new Northern Wastelands, it's hard to argue with that. Wishfully Studios is doubling the scale this time around. We're following an older Lana and her companion Moi through a much darker robot graveyard. The big gameplay shift? Underwater exploration. Moi has some new tricks, like enveloping itself in a bubble, so Lana can dive deep to solve puzzles involving ancient hybrid tech. It's a lot more ambitious than the first game's hide in the grass stealth. The companion has also been overhauled, allowing you to direct Moi with way more precision. Plus, Lana's got a new run, slide, and wall jump to make the action sequences feel much more fluid.
Discovered in the Flower Kingdom. Bell Park.
Just when you thought the Flower Kingdom couldn't get any weirder, Nintendo officially pulled the curtain back on Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 Edition. It's hitting shelves on March 26th, and while it is technically a remaster of the 2023 hit, the new subtitle, Meet Up in Bell Park, hints at a lot more than just a resolution bump. The big technical draw here is native 4K at a locked 60 when docked. But the real news for fans is the roster expansion. Rosalina is officially joining the playable lineup alongside a new assist mode, featuring co-star Luma, which lets a second player use the new Joy-Con 2 mouse controls to help collect coins and stun enemies. Then, there's the Bell Park expansion itself. This is a massive new hub area filled with co-op and competitive minigames, plus a Toad Brigade training camp that adds high difficulty challenge variants to existing levels. If you already own the original, there's a $20 digital upgrade pack to get the new content, which is a nice touch for early adopters. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly Remake isn't just a remaster, it's a ground-up Team Ninja remake for PS5 and the Switch 2, and it might just be the most terrifying thing you play all year. The big addition here is a new hold hands mechanic. You can literally hold Mayu's hand to help her navigate the village, which restores your health and spirit power. But if she trips or gets pulled away in the dark, things get real bad, real fast. They've also confirmed a brand new secret ending, featuring a new track by Tsuki Amano, plus extra side stories that flesh out the lore of the twins. On the Switch 2, you're getting full gyro aiming for the camera obscura in handheld mode, making those frantic ghost battles feel way more immersive. They've also added a fatal time mechanic that lets you change shots during a shutter chance for massive damage. With a playable demo dropping on March 5th, you won't have to wait long to see if you can handle the Lost Village. WWE 2K26 is launching on March 13th, and 2K isn't playing it safe this year. CM Punk is your cover star, and the entire 2K showcase is dedicated to his career, including some wild what-if scenarios that imagine what would have happened if he never walked out in 2014. We are looking at a staggering 400 playable superstars, the largest roster in the history of the series. This includes the long-awaited return of AJ Lee and the video game debut of viral sensation Joe Hendry as a pre-order bonus. Plus, they're finally bringing back fan-favorite match types like the Inferno match, I Quit, and the legendary Dumpster match. For the Nintendo fans, this is officially hitting the Switch 2 day and date with the other consoles. It's reportedly running at a locked 60 frames per second, and even includes mouse and touchscreen support for the Creation Suite, which has doubled its save slots to 200. It's been a long road of delays, but the wait is finally over. R-Type Tactics 1-2 Cosmos is launching on March 12th. This is a ground-up Unreal Engine 5 remake of the two legendary PSP strategy spin-offs, and it's hitting everything from PS5 and PC to a newly confirmed Switch 2 version. The big deal for Western fans? This is the first time R-Type Tactics 2 has ever been officially released outside of Japan. Granzella isn't just upscaling textures. They've added a brand new third campaign exclusive to this collection that bridges the gap between the two games. You're still getting that brutal side-scrolling hex grid, but now with some truly stunning 3D battle animations. They've also added online competitive play for both games. There are hundreds of units to unlock, and because it's Unreal Engine 5, the lighting and particle effects during those iconic wave cannon shots are on a completely different level compared to the original versions. It's been nearly 20 years since the original launch, but the king of 3D fighters is finally making its Nintendo debut. Virtua Fighter 5 R.E.V.O. World Stage is landing on the Switch 2 on March 26th. And no, this isn't just a basic port. It's the definitive revision that Sega is using to bridge the gap to the next generation. The big headline, full cross-platform play and rollback netcode. You'll be able to challenge players on PS5, Xbox, and PC right from your handheld. It also includes the brand new World Stage mode, an immersive single-player campaign where you travel to virtual arcades across the globe, fighting AI based on actual world-renowned pro players to climb the rankings. With a 30th anniversary edition that includes Yakuza crossover costumes and rare pre-production art. This is the most complete VF5 package ever made. If you've been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley on the Switch 1, you know the struggle. The lag, the crashes, and those brutal item limits have been the real villains of the valley. But Gameloft just dropped some magical news. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition will arrive on March 25th. The headline here is the item limit. The Switch 2 version is finally doubling it, jumping from 3,000 to 6,000 items. This means you can actually build those massive detailed theme parks and neighborhoods without the hardware crying for mercy. Plus, it's a free upgrade for anyone who already owns the game on the original Switch. Technically, we're looking at much faster load times, a sharper resolution, and a significantly more stable frame rate. This lands right as the spring 2026 roadmap kicks into gear, bringing Pocahontas to the Valley, following the recent Lady and the Tramp update. It's the first time the console version will actually feel as smooth as the PC or PS5 builds. Prepare your handkerchiefs, because Saigono is back to ruin us emotionally once again. OPUS Prism Peak is launching on March 26th, and it's heading to PC, Switch, and, you guessed it, the Switch 2 right at the start. Following the masterpiece that was Echo of Starsong, this time we're playing as a jaded photographer stranded in the ethereal Dusklands. The core gimmick? Your camera is your only way home. You aren't just snapping pretty pictures. You're tweaking aperture, focus, and exposure to capture the true forms of spirits to solve environmental puzzles. It's a literal photo adventure to reclaim lost goodbyes. The game features a massive branching narrative with multiple endings that change based on the spiritual bonds you form with a mysterious girl named Ren. On the Switch 2, the hand-drawn, Ghibli-esque art style is supposedly popping with enhanced HDR and zero load times between the surreal mountain vistas. It's looking like the ultimate cozy but crying game of the year. The stealth strategy GOAT is back to reclaim its throne. Shadow Tactics. Blades of the Shogun is striking the Switch 2 on March 18th, and this isn't just a port. It's the ultimate edition. You're getting the original Edo period masterpiece and the Aiko's Choice expansion in one lethal package. The big news here is that Mimimi Games, even in their final act as a studio, fully optimized this for the new hardware. For the first time on a console, we're getting native mouse support, giving you that surgical precision that was always exclusive to PC. Performance-wise, it's a massive leap. We're talking 4K 30 when docked and a super clean 1080p in handheld mode. If you've never played it, it's basically Commandos, but with ninjas and samurai. You command 5 specialists, from the trap-setting Yuki to the heavy-hitting Mugen, and the Switch 2 version cuts the loading times down to almost nothing.
Scion of balance, savior of Nosgoth.
The wheel has turned and the prophecy is finally fulfilled. And if you thought the Soul Reaver remasters were a big deal, Crystal Dynamics just said, hold my blood vial, because this one is a literal museum of lost history. The big story here is the Closet Files. The devs actually found a stash of old data in a literal closet, which allowed them to restore 9 lost levels that were cut from the 2003 original. But the absolute mic drop for fans? The deluxe edition includes a playable demo of The Dark Prophecy, the cancelled sequel that's been lost for over 20 years. You can finally see where the story was supposed to go after that cliffhanger. Technically, they've ditched the old fixed camera angles for a modernized free-floating camera, though you can toggle back to the classic view if you're a purist. Would you like to know more? Because the United Citizen Federation is drafting us again. Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War is launching on March 16th, and it's coming from Auroch Digital, the absolute madman behind Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. It's a retro-inspired, high-octane FPS. The vibe here is pure 1997. It's got that boomer shooter aesthetic that allows for literally thousands of arachnids on screen at once without melting your hardware. But the best part? Casper Van Dien is back as Johnny Rico, appearing in full, high-quality FMV sequences to brief you before you drop into the meat grinder. It feels like a lost arcade cabinet from the movie's universe. You're playing as Major Samantha Sammy Dietz, leading squads through a massive solo campaign with over 30 iconic weapons, including the classic Merida rifle and tactical nukes.
Okay everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you liked that video, please leave a like and subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to get notified when we release new content. We hope to see you in the next video.